everybody to the April 13th Jewett Town Board meeting and public hearing. Public hearing scheduled 7:15. Alright, I'm just gonna give a brief report before we review the minutes. So, I'm not gonna do this every month or anything, you guys, but I just definitely wanna take this opportunity to update the board members and the public in attendance on the accomplishments that we have achieved during the first 100 days of 2022. We have returned to in-person meetings. At our first meeting, we passed resolution number 1, which reset the short-term rental fee. The fee was set at $30 per occupant. We have only received positive feedback concerning this change. Our efforts to get everyone in compliance have been ongoing. Last week, we sent out our third mailing this year, which our first mailing went out in January, second one in February, and we just, again, last week sent out our third mailing, which included a copy of each recipient's actual Airbnb advertisement, as well as notification of possible fines for non-compliance. In addition, we have made excellent headway in dealing with the problem houses. The majority of STR houses are now in compliance, and we are continuing our efforts to get everyone to comply. Many thanks to everyone that has put in extra time on this endeavor. You know, Maya's done tons of work, Barbara's done a bunch of work, Barbara Schobel, and the rest of our team.
Do I need to go get them? Do they require?
We were able to renegotiate our contract with the host compliance short-term rental municipal consultants, which results in a 10% savings to our town. We also passed resolutions number 2 through number 7, as well as the town attorney retainer. These are annually reoccurring resolutions necessary to keep our town government up and running. A contract was signed with the Greene County EMS Paramedic Service, who will continue to provide EMS flight car service to our Jewett residents. We negotiated an agreement with the town of Wyndham to continue to provide ambulance service for Jewett residents. We renewed the building lease for the Greene County Department of Health and Human Services Senior Center, Meals on Wheels. This important program continues to provide meals for our elderly mountaintop residents. We also hired Mark Schmears as IT coordinator, and we passed resolution number 12 to authorize purchases of technology equipment. We have already received several tech items and more just today, and have begun renovations to upgrade our technology to meet specific new insurance requirements regarding cybersecurity, as well as requirements from the New York State Comptroller's Office. An agreement was reached with our insurance provider to obtain coverage for all of our needs, including an additional new cyber security policy with $1 million of coverage. We have reviewed and authorized payment for the workers' compensation policy that covers the members of our fire companies. We were able to negotiate a new agreement with a local solid waste dumpster company that will result in an approximately $600 per year savings to our town for the exact same service. Negotiations with the Laborers International Union of North America were held. These negotiations led to the successful MOA agreement concerning the retirement of a highway employee. Since last month, we entered into a service contract with Kingsley Power. They will service our 2 backup generators on an annual basis. The initial service was performed last week by a young man, technician Pearson. He spent several hours here. Oil change, spark plugs, and the batteries were replaced because they were almost 3 years old. And they call for being replaced every 2 years. After some negotiating with his boss, basically, they agreed to honor the prevailing wage requirements at no additional cost to the town. So they didn't hit us for an extra on that. So we should be all set moving forward with the generators. We passed resolution number 10, reaffirming our support for the Second Amendment to the United States Constitution. In solidarity with our neighboring Greene County towns, resolution number 11, in support of land acquisition reduction, was also approved by our board. We completed the local flood analysis process that was approximately a year in the making, and have begun the process of attempting to secure grants for projects within our town, I'm sorry. I attended the Mountaintop Mayors and Supervisors meetings in December, January, February, and March, and we hosted the January meeting here in our municipal building. The continuation of an open line of communication and dialogue with all the Mountaintop supervisors is very vital to the success of our Jewett town government. Our office is open 4 days per week, and we always have an open door policy. Any resident at any time can walk through that door, and happy to talk to them. I have received over 500 emails and sent over 200 emails, spoken on the phone or in person to numerous residents and others. And I think that's what I wanna say about that. Okay, so let's move on to item number, item number 3, or was it on the agenda? Number 2, and review the minutes from our March 9th, 2022 meeting. These were all sent to everybody, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions or concerns about the minutes as written?
I make a motion to accept the minutes.
A second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, minutes are accepted. Alright, I put, everybody's, got resolution number 13 in the folder there. So, resolution number 13 is basically the appointment of a marriage officer within the town of Jewett. So, we do not currently have an appointed marriage officer, you know, although our justice can perform marriages. Maya would like to do that, as a service to our residents, and, you know, we have a vacancy there, so she's asked to do this. Wanna say anything about this, or?
Well, I had a request from some of our residents, well, 2, because 2 people get married, and they wanted me to perform their wedding, but I'm not a really minister or things like that, but I saw that the town can appoint marriage officers to perform weddings, so I asked Greg if they would, if you would want to do that.
This is in your folder also, you know.
Is this an annual, thing, or a,
One shot,
Why
daily
didn't
There
calendar.
is a term, so the term expires
Is it-
2025.
oh, okay.
So is this a salary position? How is this the compensation?
It is, I think, $50, but I told Greg I don't want any compensation.
But do we get compensated from, if somebody wants the license, we're not gonna charge them,
Well,
or
it's-
to
That's
officiate their
If-
marriage?
Right, if they want a license, we do charge them for marriage
Okay.
license, but yeah, it's different, I would be officiating, I would be marrying them.
Okay.
I mean, not me marrying
Performing
them,
marriage.
but performing.
Gotcha.
So it's not, this isn't gonna generate any money for the town, but it's gonna
No.
provide a service for the
Yeah.
residents.
Yeah,
You know, and,
The domestic relations law does allow you to charge a fee if you want to, it's gonna be reasonable, but
it's
Zero
like
is definitely reasonable.
75 is up to 75 according to this.
Yeah.
still must be in recent change,
But
it just
they
needs to
don't-
be reasonable.
Right, that doesn't go to the town though.
No. Goes to the officiant.
Right,
and I don't want any money.
she doesn't want it, so there it is.
two people have, the two people have shown interest that they would like you to do that,
Yes, they even changed their date around me.
okay? Okay,
Does it has to happen in the town of Jewett for you to do this?
Yes.
Mhm.
you can't just get officiated, people get officiated online all the time to do that, I mean, that's,
I didn't want to be a religious,
oh,
perform
not for a religious ceremony.
Because I think in order to, online, you've gotta be backed by a religious organization of some sort.
I don't think so.
No.
Not at all.
That's the way it used to be, I don't know if it's been changed, it's something I haven't looked at in a number of years.
Right, it's,
Yeah.
I have, my daughter just did it,
Oh, she's.
back in May, yeah, she did that, for a friend, so that she
Oh.
could do that, similar to what you're talking about, but, you know,
Right.
for friends, but it's not backed by a church or any religious, it's all done online,
Oh,
yeah.
well, I'd feel more comfortable with being a town marriage officiant, because then I could provide that service to anyone. And it would be kinda like official town of Jewett official.
And you don't have to be a resident of the town of Jewett for you to marry them in Jewett?
No.
Okay.
Okay,
Cool.
do we have any other comments or discussion on the, marriage officer resolution?
Well, how does this affect, we have a judge and they're able to do the same thing. So, and this is just because people have come to you asking you to do this. How is that gonna affect, if somebody wanted our judge to marry them, is there a fee that they pay?
No, and the judge could still marry them, like Steve, for example, could still do
Yes.
a wedding, this has no effect on that. Yeah, it doesn't change a thing, actually, it just, in addition, Maya would be able to perform a wedding, is how I'm reading it. Any questions or concerns? Comfortable moving forward, you guys? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve resolution number 13.
I'll make the motion to approve the resolution 13.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Supervisor Croyer,
Aye.
Councilwoman Romito,
I will vote yes, just with the understanding that it's not a paid, position, and I'm okay with that,
Yeah, we already said that, it's not paid.
okay?
Councilman Giordano,
Yes.
Councilman Pelletieri.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Congratulations, Maya.
Oh, thank you.
Makes me wanna get married again.
Oh, well, I'm available.
I'm married.
Alright, we have our, public hearing, which I'll just wait, like about, let me see what time it actually is. Yeah, I gotta just wait 1 minute really, but, so we have resolution number 9, which is the amendment to the small scale solar definition. So what this is our current definition for small scale solar permits systems that produce a maximum of 10 kilowatts per hour. The current New York State standard for small scale solar is recognized to permit a maximum of 25 kilowatts per hour. Whereas the town of Jewett wishes to keep pace with our residents' increasing needs for additional power. Whereas this amendment is consistent with the aims and principles embodied in law as to the particular districts concerned, in this case, all zoning districts. Whereas this amendment has no direct implications on other regulations within the town. And whereas this amendment is consistent with the aims of the comprehensive plan of the town of Jewett to protect the rural character and social and economic stability and future sustainability of the town of Jewett. Therefore, be it resolved that the town of Jewett, zoning code 165.21.4, solar energy systems, G, definition, small scale solar shall be amended to read. Small scale solar, for purposes of this section, the term small scale solar refers to solar photovoltaic systems that produce up to 25 kilowatts per hour of energy, or solar thermal systems which serve the building to which they are attached. So the key being 25. So basically the number 10 will be stricken from our code, and the number 25 will be put in place as the actual change. So electric vehicles, 10 kilowatts per hour, you know, it might work for most houses, but if you had a big house and an outbuilding and an electric Tesla, it might not work. So 25 is the number that was discussed. The planning board took a close look at this over a couple of months and recommended this amendment. So that's basically the resolution. All right, so I think, unless you guys wanna discuss it first, we could discuss it after. I think we can entertain a motion to open the public hearing for resolution number 9.
I'll make that motion to open up the public hearing for resolution number 9.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Any opposed? Okay, so the public hearing is now open. So I would like to hear from any and all members of the public that wish to address the board concerning resolution number 9, the small scale solar definition amendment. Anybody would like to comment on this? No? Okay. Alright, so we're not gonna, any board members are free, obviously, to discuss this, but, we won't be putting this to a vote this evening because we've done the seeker, now we've fulfilled the public hearing obligation.
Close the public hearing.
Wow, that's not, I'll get that. But the 239 referral to the Greene County Planning Board, we did it, Tal did it, I think, in a timely fashion, he did it like the day after the last meeting. But they want another month to look at this,
Well, it's a matter of the calendar. They meet, I think it's the 3rd Thursday. So regardless, whenever we try and make it that first meeting, we're within their 12-day limitation.
Right.
In other words, they want everything submitted at least 12 days prior to their meeting. And so
Okay.
if we don't get it there, then they roll it to the next month.
Okay.
So it's just a function of the calendar, unfortunately.
So I think we'll give them the courtesy and we'll wait to hear from them before we make our final decision, cause it's not like we need to do it this month versus next month. I think next month is fine, you know, I mean, I've liked to have done it this month, but they didn't accommodate us, so, that's fine. We'll have to put off any actual decision on this until, our May meeting.
Under the law, you could proceed.
We could.
Because it's been 30 days since we submitted it, because the statute says that you have to give it to them and they have to respond, and if they don't respond within 30 days, then you're free to do what you wanna do. But, as Greg said, A, it's a courtesy, let them do their job, we sent it to them, asked them to take a look at it. B, we don't have a big rush, we don't need to have it on the books right now, so, there's no harm, no foul.
Do you suspect they could have anything? I mean, it doesn't, it seems pretty
Yeah, it's
simple.
cut and dry,
I
it's
would,
just
Right.
the
I would
timing.
be very surprised if there's
If they
anything
came
other
back
than.
with anything,
Yeah, they're
okay,
gonna come back with something, it'll say probably very likely local decision,
Yeah.
so it'll be up
Okay.
to us. But,
but nothing to say you can't, or, you know.
right, we could
can
vote
say-
on it, I mean, like, if you guys felt strongly about it, you could convince me, but I feel like,
We can,
yeah, it's not, I don't think it's that big a
waiting,
deal,
I'm
we
just-
can wait till next, month, and that way we'll at least be able to review their response,
Okay.
and then we'll have all the information, instead of just what we have, you know, there'll
Yep.
be one extra bit of information.
Yep.
Alright, before I close the public hearing portion, I will ask any member of the public present, does anybody have anything to say, having second thoughts, wanna talk about this? Okay, I'm feeling no, okay, so,
I have a question.
there you go, John.
So by upping it to 25 kilowatts per hour, is it double the solar panels or more than double to create that energy?
Yes,
It is.
Yes, it would be 2.5 times what was allowed prior.
Right.
All right, now, just to give you an example, it could potentially be a rather large array. That's the deal with
Well,
solar
we have
panels, they take
codes
up a
on-
lot of space.
Mhm.
So, what was it, 12 kilowatts?
Was it like 13 by 60?
Yeah, that's why I envision
panels?
it could be up to double that.
Right.
So it could be like 2 rows, maybe 13 by 60. You know, again, this
Right.
is just off the top of my head from what.
But we have codes that protect it from neighbors
Oh, yeah.
and,
It's gotta meet the
things like that.
setbacks, it would have to, be screened with trees from, it's considered like almost like it's actually even more strict than a building,
Mm.
you know?
Okay.
So it's not like we have to strengthen our
Yeah.
code, this is to accommodate people that are gonna use more power
Correct.
than, maybe you wanna be off the grid
right.
and
this
not
would
even
allow
have,
it.
any watt cable. You would be able to do that in the town of Jewett, you would be able to power your own
Right. And
compound, basically.
by the state of New York, this is the max kilowatts per hour for residential.
That's just for the
Small
definition.
scale.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's,
Small
with regards to the definition.
Yep.
The state of New York, I don't wanna get into what they're
Yeah,
thinking,
thank
but,
you.
yeah. Alright, so, I think everyone's good with that one, so I do have to,
You want us to leave this with you so you can put it in our folder for next month?
you can just hold it, it's up to you, you can leave it in your
Bring it
folder
back
and I'll
to us?
leave it in there, or you can,
Okay,
bring it home and look at it, or share it with other residents, whatever you choose.
We do have a couple residents who.
Yeah,
want the
let them see it,
information.
take it with you, take everything with you, it's best,
Sure.
and share it with, everybody. Alright, so, I would ask then, I will entertain a motion to go ahead and close the, public hearing, as long as nobody wants to speak on it.
I'll make a motion to close the hearing. on
Second.
the solar.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Alright, so the public hearing is officially closed, and the board will revisit resolution number 9 at the May meeting after we have a response to the 239 referral from the Greene County Planning Board. Carl did not give me a report today, he had his furnace replaced today. He basically couldn't make it, cause he was all set to come to work, and they came to his house to replace his furnace without ever calling him, telling him they were coming over.
Mm.
So he has his dog at home and all kinds of responsibilities, he couldn't leave. He did pop in quick to help a resident with give him a building inspection, but after that, he was bugged out quick too. Alright, so I don't have that. I know the planning board did not meet this month. Zoning board did not meet also yet this month. Okay. So the bills, we have, basically everybody's,
I just have a few left to look at. I guess I have a question about this one.
yep, so we give that to them, but our insurance doesn't cover it. So that employee had that done,
Yeah.
and we gave them that amount. So that's in their
No, I-
contract, they get that, but the insurance doesn't cover it, so we have to pay
Alright,
it.
alright, I'll ask something in a bit.
I'm right about that, right? Wait,
Yeah, no,
okay.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
right.
I'm sorry if they, I know they're numbered, I think I pulled them out of order, I'll put them back, sorry.
That's good, okay.
Truck number 7.
Alright, I'm gonna move on, cause we were really supposed to do that before the meeting. Alright, so I will entertain a motion to pay the bills.
I'll make a motion to pay the bills.
Do I have a second?
A second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. And the financial, bank account statements are on the table there, so I'll entertain a motion to approve the financials.
I make a motion.
Second,
Seconded.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that motion passes. Okay, there's one item in your packets I put in, a resident had contacted me on, I don't know, it was 2 days ago, I'm gonna say, probably Tuesday. Just asked me to share that with the board, so I printed up some copies of that, put it in there. I guess basically just to make you guys aware of that, yeah.
Is this a voluntary thing, what, I don't understand.
What is he requesting from the town?
You know, I
It's probably more a publication or a request to sort of disseminate the information than anything else.
yeah, just so you're aware of it. I mean, if somebody wants to take up that initiative to do that, it's this thing called No Mo May, then, you know, that's fine. I mean, I'm just, I'm not sure what our board can do with that.
I guess you're free to do what you want with your lawn, right?
As long as it doesn't create a fire hazard.
Right. You guys wanna discuss that at all, or?
Trying to make this a mandatory law in Jewett to not mow your lawn in May, is that what this is about?
I don't believe so. I
Can't
think
do
it's,
that.
I think it's a voluntary program, yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. It is interesting.
Yeah, that's, makes sense, I guess, for the bees.
Any reason not to mow your lawn, right?
Right, I don't know if it would help, it would probably help the tick, population though, as well.
Can you get your chickens?
Guinea hens.
Yeah.
Does anyone wanna discuss that, or should I move on?
No, I mean, thank him for this, for the information.
Thanks, Hank.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
I didn't know he was here, thank you, Hank.
You're welcome.
interesting.
Anything further? Okay, I'm gonna entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting. Can I have a motion?
Well, before we adjourn, can I just, I just had something that I found, regarding ARPA money that was put out by the county, and it came after our meeting. We had a meeting on the 9th, this is the 16th, and we talked about, getting money, we have money coming from the county. So we received money based on the website on Green County. The town of Jewett received money in the summer of 2021, about
Should be 48.
48,000, yep,
Yep.
and then we have another 48
No,
coming.
correct.
So, I'm looking at this and then reading it, we have work being done with our cybersecurity, that's all mentioned in here. Are we going to use any of that to pay for that? Like, what do we earmark this money for?
It's not earmarked yet.
So
We're
we still have
deciding
the
on
first
several
48?
things. Excuse me?
We still have the first
Oh,
48?
yeah, we haven't touched it. 48's sitting,
Okay,
and the 48's coming, so it's a
Okay.
total of 96 grand. And we're gonna be using that for something. Now, things that we need, are a new highway garage, a new roof, a new, chimney for our heating system,
Okay,
and that's the beginning, you know? We need to, you know, our building needs a paint job, which, you know, within the next 2 years, for sure, we're gonna have a new roof on this building and have the building painted and maybe some new signage. Within the next several years, I'd like to see a highway garage, brand new. So, to me, where that exactly is gonna go at this moment, it kinda depends on the grants and the funding that we're able to secure from other sources. So we just, completed the LFA, right, the local flood analysis for the town of Jewett. That, you'll all be receiving that report, this month, okay, and we will vote on it probably next month, whether or not to accept it or not. I think we'll probably vote to accept it, cause it has indicated and, pointed out several projects within our town. Increasing culverts on, you know, right here by a municipal building, on Beach's Corners, which is like a tie-up for the, you know, there's this waterway outside of building here, it's called Townhouse Brook. It runs from the base of the dam, the John Galt Dam, and it goes right into the East Kill. On the way, it passes under 23C, overwhelms that culvert regularly on even a minor flood event, and then it overwhelms Beach's Corners Road culvert also. So ideally, we'll get 2 new culverts, we'll get that waterway defined and dredged out from the base of the dam to the creek. We'll get a new highway garage, a new roof, a chimney, all right, these are the things that we're pushing for. I mean, that's what some of those 500 emails that are about. Once we can see what CWC and basically the DEP is gonna do for us, if anything, right? I assume something, then we can proceed. In addition to the things I already mentioned, new septic system for our municipal compound here, and they call it a SWIP, a stormwater pollution prevention system, for any stormwater to go through a filtration medium before it enters the waterway again. So these are the projects that are out there. That 96 grand is not gonna cover that.
No.
You get that, right?
Yeah.
And we have maybe a little more money than that too, but the bottom line is, we need to try our hardest to pursue these
Different
grants from
grants.
other sources. And that's what that LFA study was all about. That's what it's all about, is to get the projects identified and identify the sources of funding. And you'll see it, it's this thick. I got a copy of it in there. I'll show it to you now if you want. It's 146 pages, I believe, and it identifies projects in different parts of town. A lot of it is right here though, right around our municipal building. So, to me, that money is for some of that. It may be for this tech upgrade, you
So-
know?
So the other question I have is, who decides, I mean,
Our
reading
board.
this, well, not the board, but the county doesn't have any, they've allocated the money, from what I see, all the counties in the state. The guidelines for it, are there guidelines?
Yes, the feds have promulgated the guidelines, and so it started out being very, very narrow. But over time, when they started getting feedback from the municipalities, they realized that it was too narrow. And so now they've opened it up to just about everything, not everything, but just
Okay.
about everything.
Any of the things I discussed,
And,
Okay.
for sure.
and for smaller communities like us, where we don't get that much, cause we are so small, it's a good use to leverage, that money. Because a lot of the grants we are gonna qualify for are maybe a 75-25 or a 90-10 match. And so if you can use this as that match, then you can.
Startup, like a startup,
Yeah, then you know, you're getting these bigger projects done for just that little bit of match. So that's a good way to leverage and maximize the use of that money. You know, bigger communities like the city of Hudson, a couple $1 million, they can tackle a couple of big projects like that with the whole thing. We can't do that.
We will be asking Greene County, we want some of their money too, all right? So they got ARPA funds as well, and I just received this, a couple days ago. And we will, review their policy, and we will, what's the word? Apply apply.
That was my next
To
question, is
them.
how do we, are we
Yeah.
applying for the funds?
We're
and-
working on it now. It's all in the beginning stages. The result, we haven't even voted to approve the LFA yet. Once we vote to accept the LFA, which, like I said, will be the May meeting, then we're eligible for these projects to occur. Now, in addition, we will contact this month, Greene County, ARPA funds, will be contacting the, Sean Groden, and telling him we're interested in receiving some of those funds. And I think I'll put out that we'd like some help paying for our highway garage, That's a big nut. That's gonna be, anybody could guess what it's gonna be. I mean, I know what it should be, and I know what I've been hearing lately about prices. But, to our small town, our most critical service is our highway department. Some people might say it's the ambulance, but you'll never get an ambulance to your house if the roads aren't plowed. If you really think about what comes first, and we have ambulances covered right now, it's our highway department and supporting them. So, call me a dreamer, but I'm gonna keep pushing for this highway garage. And, as much of it as can be paid for by Greene County, CWC and New York State, all the
New
better.
York City, yeah.
Right, we'll put in what we can as a small town, but we've been playing along with the DEP ever since we signed that memorandum back in the '90s, okay? So, yeah, listen, they forget about Jewett. Jewett's like a bypass to them. They don't even consider it a town. They think it's part of Hunter or something, We're gonna get what's coming to us, cause we're gonna be the squeaky wheel. But yes, we're gonna pursue those ARPA funds. The ones we have is great, right? We got $96,000.
Yep.
Pretty much, we can use it for whatever we need. But
We're
it's
holding
not,
for 10% of the big job,
It's not, well, I
What
hope
year
it's-
was our garage, built?
It's
Any
two
idea?
pieces, so one piece was built maybe in the '40s or something. It's a great picture on my phone that shows what this looked like 150 years ago, what this right here looked like. I just got it last night from Jerry Laux.
Nice.
And, it's unbelievable how much it's changed. Like, really, I mean, the waterways and everything are in somewhat of a different place. Every road was dirt, and I know you know that, John, because
Yeah.
when your mom grew up here, they
Yeah.
were all dirt roads,
Exactly. Yeah.
So, we wanna use that money for something, we wanna get some bang for our buck, put it that way. And that 48 grand that's turning into 96 is definitely part of the equation, as is all the money that, Jim has been able to, nest aside over the years too, right, for being fiscally responsible over the last, several years, dozen years or so. So, yeah. Yep, we're on it, and we're gonna keep on it, and I'm trying to get somebody up to pick us up. Rachel Berger, stormwater specialist for CWC, is a new connection. She seems enthusiastic about helping the town of Jewett. Another woman, Michelle Palmer, who is, recommended by the, engineering firm. We're seeing if she can kind of adopt us and start wading us through this grant process.
Good.
So there's nothing more important, as far as I'm concerned, than getting something done over here.
I think now's the time, there's a lot of money that's been put out there.
Yeah.
So we definitely.
Yeah, I'd like to see them send some our way.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see some people get enthusiastic about it that are supposed to be. I'm gonna stop talking now, though. All right, does anybody have anything else? Okay, I'm gonna entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much, everybody.